The modern marathon is a testament to strength and determination. The history of the marathon is just as inspiring as the modern-day sport. The first marathon was run by a soldier from the Bay of Marathon to Sparta. He ran that distance of 40 kilometers immediately after he had already run 240 kilometers over the previous 2 days. He collapsed and died on the spot from exhaustion, but only after delivering the message: "We have won." This is the story of Stephane Flash Hetherington and his quest to be a superhero for a day.
I played rep soccer for many years. I had a coach in my latter years going into high school who was really tough on us. Every time we made a mistake in practice, he made us run. We had to do suicides, and eventually got to the point where I liked doing the suicides more than I liked playing soccer. So joined track, joined Etobicoke, and the transition just sort of happened that way. Eventually just went from playing soccer and running to just running. I had a friend in Troy, Alabama who was coming up to run Scotiabank, and he was a member of the English team because they always do. They usually do a Canada, US, England sort of tri-meet in the marathon. He got selected to run for England. I'd been training with him for like 2 years, and he just read online they had a press release about how the Guinness Book was going to be there offering up a few of the records. One was like dressed as a vegetable, dressed as a bottle, the other one was dressed as a TV character. So he jokingly sent me the email. It might have been like 2 or 3 weeks before the marathon, and I hadn't been running so much, so it was more of a joke. But when I came back to him with my email telling him that I'd signed up with the Guinness Book and I'd see him on the start line, he was pretty surprised.
When they're up in the 22nd Scotiabank Toronto Waterfront Marathon. It actually started 22 years ago as a half marathon. Now they're up to the 42.2 kilometer distance. And away they go, Tim.
There's a guy, Michael Wardian. I don't know exactly. He's from the Northeast somewhere in the States. And I know he's run like 2:17 in like a regular marathon. And I knew he did Spider-Man at like his home marathon, like Connecticut or something like that. So I knew who he was. I'd heard of him before I did my little attempt. I knew exactly that I had to run. I mean, I knew the pace, 2:34.56 is still the record, and I knew if I'd run 3:40 per kilometer, that's about 2:30. I think it's 2:34 flat actually. So that was my plan, just to run 3:40s the whole way and just do it as efficiently as possible. I guess like all the adrenaline and excitement at the beginning helped me run a few like 3:17, 3:20 kilometers right at the beginning. Oddly enough, like I was like chatting with people asking me what I'm doing, and everyone's screaming, you know, "Go Flash," and obviously laughing at my costume. So I was a little fired up and went out a little strong. Honestly, I held that until about, I want to say like 32K, when I started to feel a little bit wobbly. And I want to say 33 or 34 is where you turn around to come back on Queen Street to come back into downtown, so you're running west. And it was an extremely windy day, so when I turned around, I knew I had quite a bit of time in the bank because I was running some 3:35s and 3:38s. I don't think one of my Ks was over 3:40 the whole way. So I figured I had like maybe a minute in the bank. So when I turned around, my next K was 3:40, the next K was 3:40. So as I started to hurt and slow down, I started to worry too, because the wind was blowing up against me. There was no one else around me, so it was really tough to, there was no ability to tuck in or try to get away from the wind, so I kind of just had to fight it on my own. And things just sort of slowed down progressively until about, I want to say it was 41K. When I looked at my watch, and I could have sworn I saw 2:30 flat, 2:30.00. So in my fatigued math, I knew I had 4 minutes and 56 seconds to get there. I had 1,200 meters left. I figured if I got back to 340s per K, I could run 340, then 200 meters in 40 seconds was a piece of cake, and I'd be under the record by 40 seconds, 30 seconds. So I was able to pick up the pace, and definitely back on 340 pace felt fine coming into the final turn. And I thought I'd give my watch another glance. And I looked at my watch, and actually it was 2:34.50. And so I had 6 seconds to get there. I turned the corner hoping the finish line was right there, but it was maybe like 80, 90 meters down. So maybe I didn't pick it up as much as I thought, or maybe I just didn't look at my watch properly at 41K. But either way, I felt like I had it in me to get the record. And I guess in the last K and a half of the 42K race, I botched it a little bit. I'm definitely going to give it another shot.